and welcome back. Now, more competition news now. On August the 14th, Liverpool docks light up for one of the most spectacular events of the year. To commemorate the historic voyage of Columbus to the New World, a fleet of majestic tall ships will sail into Liverpool. And I saw them come down the Tyne. They were magnificent during the tall ships race. Now, they're going to be serenaded by a host of world-famous opera stars, including the Barcelona singer, Montserrat Caballé. And tomorrow on TVAM, we're running a special competition. And the prize is going to be a VIP trip for two to this unique fanfare for a new world. Of course, it's an event not to be missed. And all you have to do is to tune in tomorrow for the details.
It's coming up to 8:20. Now, yesterday on TVAM, we asked you whether you thought the failing BBC soap opera El Dorado should be axed now. Well, your answer was pretty clear. A total of 30,608 people called in. 73% said they thought El Dorado should go. 27% said they thought El Dorado should continue. Well, Stacey, a soap opera expert and author of several quiz books, is here to talk to us about El Dorado and other soaps. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Now, that seems fairly sort of overwhelming, the results of our poll. Do you think that people have been a bit unfair?
Yes, I do actually. I think the public should give it a chance, because I think the BBC started it at the wrong time. Instead of starting it in September when all the new programmes come out, they started it in the summer, which a lot of people are on holiday, the nights are lighter, a lot of people are out at 7 o'clock.
Right.
So it wouldn't get as big an audience as it would do in September, October.
And also, if it was in the winter, it would have that sort of glow of summer about it.
That's right, it's pleasing to the eye and
it would
bright and cheery.
And then it would have a chance to actually take off. Do you think, though, in a strange way, that all this adverse publicity will actually almost encourage people to watch in a way? Maybe people that haven't watched, they might tune in because they wonder what all this is about, and tune into it.
Well, I think the press should leave it alone and let the actors and the public get on with it. And let the public decide in the end. Yeah. I mean, Coronation Street, when it began in 1960, it was a local programme, the critics panned it, and it took 6 months before it got on the ITV network.
Right, and look at it now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing, though. Don't you think El Dorado is suffering? Because as soon as you watch El Dorado, and if you like soaps, and most people watch The Street, you turn it over, and it's The Street, and the comparison between the two, it's quite unfair to really make comparisons, because you know, Coronation Street's been going for so long and El Dorado is quite new, but it does suffer from that comparison, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing annoys me about El Dorado is, as you said earlier, the sound.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Yeah,
it's very tinny, isn't it?
Titles on, if you've got CFAX.
Yeah, you have to watch it with subtitles, don't you? But I think it will take off.
Because there are some good actors in it.
Yes, there
are. The guy that plays Bunny,
yeah, he's excellent.
Roger Walker, I think his name is. The girl who plays Trish, as long as she won't sing, she really shouldn't sing.
She's a new Bette Lynch, isn't she?
She is. She's got the potential to be a real soap queen.
Yeah.
A real soap queen.
I mean, she camps it up no end on that, doesn't she?
Oh, she's totally camped. Yeah. I actually quite like that. I like the girl behind the bar. Some of the older, actually, like Patricia Brake, she's good. I mean, they are good. But then, because they're so good, the ones who are terribly wooden and new, it really shows them up. There's no sort of overall feel to it. It's all over the place.
The problem with El Dorado is, as well, it's a bit formulated soap, because you've got, as you said, Trish, who's a carbon copy of Bette Lynch. You've got Patricia Brake, who's a carbon copy of Pauline Fowler.
Yeah, that's true.
Marcus, who's a carbon copy of Dirty Den.
Yeah, he's quite good, mind you. That's quite a good
excellent,
character.
Yeah. I think he will become the most hated person in Britain or in Spain or whatever.
Yeah, but didn't they probably as well? It's a shame for some of the actors, because they're already talking about sort of cleaning some of them out. When the wee girl that plays Fizz has been written out, and what a shame for somebody. I mean, they all thought that they were going to be like on the front pages of all the tabloids and opening up supermarkets, and you know, it was for an actor, I suppose, if you want, it was security, and it was a chance to be a sort of big name.
But I mean, with soap, you can be killed off at any time. You're at the scriptwriter's hands, really, aren't you? So, I mean, I don't think any of them looked on it as a long-term job. I think it was like, you know, oh, we're doing this for 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And
do you think ultimately it will be a success?
I think it will be. I mean, as I said earlier, you know, Coronation Street wasn't... Crossroads got axed because it only got 10 million.
The late lamented Crossroads.
But I mean, that was good towards the end.
Yeah.
It was excellent towards the end. It was very slick.
Yeah, it did sort of get better. I wonder if they will, I don't know whether they will actually, what they'll do about the sort of foreign characters. What do you think about them, the ones in they do obviously speak in their own language.
Yes, that's another problem, I think. I think perhaps we should look at either having subtitles on there or them speaking in English.
Right.
I know it defeats the object of the exercise, but I think that's what probably puts viewers off quite considerably, because they talk in their own language, and if you don't understand Spanish, Danish or French, you're stuck, really.
Although we should, that's a feeling of us Brits, we're so insular and bad with languages. What about other soaps? I mean, do you watch all of them? Do you even watch those appalling sort of ones that are on in the afternoon, like the Young Doctors and the Flying Whatevers?
And I watch The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful, which are on Sky. So.
Do you watch all them? Yeah. Don't you get mixed up?
No, no. Well, you can't with the Americans because they're so OTT.
They're funny, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they are amusing. They're a good laugh.
mean, people criticise our soaps for being bad acting, and they criticise El Dorado for being bad acting, but I say take a look at The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. And
they are pretty bad. Do you have a favourite soap? I mean, is it hard to say?
It is, really, but Coronation Street, out of loyalty.
I think so. It's absolutely... Do you watch Take the High Road?
Yeah, I do indeed.
It's on in the afternoon. And
that's right, yeah.
I got all confused, though, because we're so far behind them, and I go back up to Scotland. It's like 3 months ahead or something, and it's really quite difficult. I think that's a really good soap.
Well, I mean, they've done Cot Death recently, haven't they? And they did it very, very well.
They did it really well, yeah. It was very, very good. And there've been lots of sort of... do you think that's a good thing, though? I wonder what you think about tackling issues. Because sometimes in EastEnders, you can actually see the signs coming up. Issues. Well, there's going to be an issue now, and there's a great glob of...
Yes, it helps the public, I think, because not necessarily a person is in that situation, but a similar situation either way. I think it does help the public to cope with that situation. Yeah. Like the AIDS situation in EastEnders was excellent.
Yeah, they did it very well. They did it very, very well indeed. But it's just sometimes, you know, it's just perhaps a wee bit too much. And it maybe doesn't sort of fit in with all the different characters.
They're nice, a soap opera, isn't it?
Life is a soap opera. That'll be the title of it.
This place is a soap opera,
You wouldn't believe, you wouldn't be able to put it on the television, nobody would believe it. Listen, it's been really, really good to talk to you. We shall see what happens to El Dorado, and we do wish it well. I mean, you wouldn't want all these people to be out of work and things.
No,
it'd be awful.
I'm sure it will be a very good success.
Absolutely, Chris, thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Yeah, we're the Bet and Rita around here. I knew you'd have guessed. Now, still to come, Hilary Jones is going to be here with advice on how men can help support women through the menopause. And we'll be talking to 2 members of that pop sensation Take That. But right now, I've got the weather news with Nikki.
Thanks, Catherine. Good morning. Here we are back in Cwmtyddy again, in Newquay. Lovely.
New soap, El Dorado, but to a mixed reception. Mary Whitehouse described it as a boring, tawdry programme, quite unsuitable for family viewing. In a moment, Sheridan Morley and what the critics have to say. First, Joanna Kay investigates what the fuss is all about.
After weeks of frenzied tabloid activity, the BBC's now rather exhausted promises of sex, sea, sun and sangria were finally put to the test last night. The first episode of El Dorado contained all the ingredients expected of a ratings puller: nightclub singer and her toy boy lover, handsome big-time criminal, older man and his teenage bride, and lots of nubile young Europeans. So what was the verdict? First, from someone who knows more about soaps than most.
It's sort of sex and drugs and lyric beats, really, isn't it? It's like, I think that I see no reason why it shouldn't be hugely successful. I can't say I was exactly gripped, but it's probably as well that it's relatively